Well, my esteemed viewers, today I've just been at the church and right now it is the evening, and I've just decided before the day gets to be over, let me just come across my garden where I did some planting some 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks. In fact, it was sort of dry, and so far I haven't seen even a plant except this little maize that I'm seeing here that has just sprouted. I'm wondering whether it's going to fall. That is rain. There is a scarcity of rain at this particular place for the last 2 weeks. This is the very garden I showed you last video on my corn garden. This is the very garden I showed you last time. And I can't believe my eyes that because it is dry, I don't know, there has been what we call weather changes here and there. So we have difficulties in having our germination taking place, or the germination of the crops taking place here, guys. So I don't know if God is not going to allow rain to come soon, then chances are that we are likely to have very minimal growth of these seeds. And here, you know, we depend a lot on maize and of course beans. So this shamba this time, I planted maize together with beans, so that if you lose one, you gain one. But seemingly this time, we haven't seen it sprouting out of the ground. I think there's a lot of seed dormancy. But we anticipate some rains this time because, guys, it has started to shower. There are some showers of blessings, though they are so little. I believe going forward, we are going to have some good rain that's going to come. Though this time it has actually been late. When the rains are late here, sometimes we tend to fear a lot, but I know God has a good plan for every one of us. We've been praying for rain, and thank God that while we were at the church, there was some little torrents of rain, and I believe that we are going to succeed. If you look at the neighboring shambas, these ones they did earlier ahead, and because they have not dried, therefore we have a belief that at least it's going to be good. This is the boundary, of course, where we do farming. This is what my father left us as an inheritance. 3 big trees. There were 4, but one was knocked down. So these 3 big trees, I believe we are going to use them in a moment later. You can see they are very tall. Big trees and very tall, actually over 25 meters to 30 meters high, almost 40, and they are so wide. These are eucalyptus trees, but because the shamba is just small, we do some sweet potatoes. If you can be able to see there are some sweet potatoes. These ones are the ones we use to eat as food sometimes, so that we can get some energy. Down there is the river valley. This is our home actually in the rural Gukuru village. Down there is a river valley where people come and harvest some sand. Let me take you closer so that you can be able to see it. We see if we can find some people there. Yeah, you can see the ridges of sweet potatoes, meaning that we do not anticipate to be hungry as days move on and by. So if you have never dared, guys, to do some farming, I want to commend that farming is good. It makes you be sure of the future and feeding the nation as well. This being March, and you know, around March, It's supposed to be a season when there is a lot of rain, but this time rain has actually receded a little, and I don't know what's going to happen, but the goodness, there is God in heaven, and there's a God who cares, so we have a lot of faith in him. And those of you who have also been tired waiting upon him, don't give up, because giving up is the last option, guys. So I am just traversing on the Shamba. We're heading towards a river valley where we hardly pass around. But as you can see, the rural Africa is very green. It's a lot of erosion that has taken place. And here there are no homesteads. People do their little farming in their small portions of land, like you can be able to see here. This is maize which was planted here by a neighbor who actually opted to plant ahead of time when there was some rain, but after which rain ceased to fall, and difficulties of germination kept on coming. Now you can see the dangers of erosion. This is a hollow gully where there were some beehives that used to be here, but because of the dangers of denudation, you can be able to see how the place became a valley and caused erosion, which has actually made even this tree, which is the eucalyptus tree, to have difficulty growing. So if a person who is mad or a person who is drunkard passes here at night, because this is a bath, you can see my legs over the other side, yeah. So if a person passes here and he miscalculates, chances are that the same might end up falling. So these erosions are here and there. They're everywhere. You can see now this is the river valley. That is now the depression along the river valley that makes this place sort of unmotorable. You cannot pass here using either a motorbike, or you cannot pass here using a vehicle. Therefore, you can only be a porter. So I was saluting a neighbor who has just passed by. Here is where people have been excavating sand, and you can see the yellow beehive there. Those who are bees that were kept there, but I don't know whether they are because of the way that the land has been so lagged. So I want to take you close to the river bed just down there. It's now a stream, and of course some people have done some napier grass here so that they can be able to prevent the erosion, but others have opted to plant trees which are very tall next to the brook around, and this brook has actually been dried because of the absorption of a lot of water by these eucalyptus or blue gums. That one has made actually the land to be degraded seriously. And as you can be able to see here, of course, there are a lot of species of plants. This one, I don't know, it's called Amarantha species. But again, there are others which I cannot know. The Meru oak. There is also another one here. I don't know the name because I have not been good in this scientific language of trees. But in our rural language, you call it omotembe. Omotembe, that's how we call it. This omotembe. I don't know where you are, whether it grows, but you can see it's a very good tree. It's stony, but it has also been having others which have actually surrounded. So there are some trees which are planted, yet others are natural, and therefore it makes this river valley to be so good. So if you remember the last video I gave you where I was with my 3 little children, this is where I was almost 1 year ago. And you can see what erosion has done. You might think that it's a balcony of soil, but above all, we thank God. So the river, which was having a lot of water when there was a lot of rain, you can see now it's very dry, and that this dry river has some insects that keep on going around and around on the water. Where I can show you closer. Don't know whether you can be able to see them. Yeah, I don't know how you call these insects from wherever you are. They are here and they make us. You know, our girls used to put them on the breasts so that they can grow breasts. But I don't know. That's just stereotyping. Eh? So it's something that people used to imagine, but it never happened. So sometimes people come here, guys, to harvest sand when the rains are more. But when there are no sufficient rains, then people come here to actually bathe. So I want to show you the exact picture. As you can see up here, this is a picture of erosion, and you can see how the trees have been endangered. So anybody can face it rough, because you can see that the roots are now naked. They are not able to absorb water, therefore making the life of this tree very much endangered. Though there is a small brook around here, as you can see, there is a small river flowing down in this brook, and of course besides it there are some plants. I don't know whether you know this plant, which have actually grown here, making the scenery just a very good scenery. So there are some people who have hardly come across places of this nature, but I want to tell you this is a beauty. It tells you about who God is, how God can decide to make somewhere look very beautiful. Look, so very, very interesting. It's very, very, very interesting if you can be able to see. Yeah, it's very green though. The green is actually mingled with some rugged soils, and the soils which are rugged also can lead to other issues. So you can see from where I am, if you come here and maybe bring something that can develop this place, or something that can be done to make this land not be wasted, because here there are no human beings living here, but there's a river. Sometimes when the rains are more, this river swells up that you can hardly walk where I am walking. So if you can see, this is where a few of our young people come to fetch water, of course, for giving animals to drink, or they come with their own animals here, and then on these brooks, and they end up now taking the water. So or they drink from here. So you can see the other side is muddy, meaning there were animals here. As you can see, there are animals crossing over the other side. You can see the far end. Some young boys are taking now the animals home. They were taking this water. You can see the water is very clean. If I can draw nearer, you can see it's very clean, and it is trickling down the river valley. These are rocks, and these types of rocks are actually, I don't know, you know, when I was doing geography, we were learning about rocks, so I don't know whether these are sedimentary rocks or metamorphic rocks or igneous rocks, but they cannot be igneous rocks, because these ones have got some layers, like you can be able to see different layers of rocks around engulfing here. This place is also clay, as you can be able to see, making the scenery a very, very, very good scenery, guys. So if you want to look at some good places, let me jump. If you want to look at some good places around, you can therefore come across and enjoy this local tour in the rural Africa, where I am showing you places around, and showing you that Africa is not such bad as you anticipate. Sometimes it's good. You can come here. Those of you practice yoga, you can come here and sit and enjoy yourself to the tail end. So this is the Gukihuru Valley, where I have just brought you. where I told you the other time that this is where I was born, and that while here I always enjoy, because I wanted to keep you updated for the last 16 minutes. So the first homestead is over the other side. You can be able to see towards the horizon. That's where we find the first homestead. And otherwise, the other place is also raised. It's an elevation. You can see how Africa looks like. A very good place indeed. People live here in this cool end. Today there is no wind blowing, as you can be able to see. The land is very calm. People are very peaceful. Oh my goodness, we enjoy a lot. Look on the other side. That is a place called Nguku Mahando. Oh, very good, very excellent. So wishing you well from here in Africa. I ask you to enjoy the watch. This is the natural watch, so that once you are done, you can enjoy that. There are good places you can walk around and enjoy the free oxygen, which is unpolluted. I tell you here, people live enough, a good length of time, because even pollution is far-fetched. You cannot be able to see any pollutant except the erosion, which is actually affecting the soil. But we thank God that life is good and we enjoy the breath of life. May you have it well. Thank you for watching for the last 16 minutes. As I've always anticipated to show you something for 15 minutes, but I've added you 1 minute, almost 2 minutes. So see you. This is Evans Okongo from Kenya. Kindly remember to subscribe, watch, share the video so that people can get what I've actually posted. Thank you. May God bless you.